Good morning, Paul and Bhargav. Today is Wednesday, July the 26th, and here's the heads-up briefing for today. In Australasia and the Pacific Islands, we covered 9 issues. In North Asia, 7 issues. In Southeast Asia, we covered 23 issues, along with 20 issues in South Asia and the major developments in the EMEA region.
Okay, excellent. I look forward to seeing the objectivity of the world's happenings today. Go ahead.
Starting off with Australasia and the Pacific Islands, in PNG, at least 67 people were arrested by the police in Garahoe, Port Moresby yesterday. The group was armed with knives, spears, and other weapons at the time of the arrest.
Okay, keep us posted on that. Obviously, it's a basket case in the old security paradigm, PNG and specifically Port Moresby, and that's one of the hotspot areas. Really keen to see what the reaction is, both from Manning, the head of police, who I often harp on as a very, very capable man, but what about the politicians? Are they going to start supporting the security paradigm, or does it suit them to have instability and unrest? Let's see how it unfolds. Thank you.
Sure, Paul. In South Korea, the Constitutional Court unanimously rejected the impeachment order against Interior Minister Lee Sang-min yesterday.
Okay, I'd like a little bit more detail on that, if not now, afterwards, okay? I need a bit more context on that.
Yes, sure, Paul. Moving over to Southeast Asia, in Thailand, House Speaker Wan Muhammad Noor Matha indefinitely postponed the vote for a new prime minister scheduled for tomorrow. The vote was postponed due to a pending Constitutional Court ruling on the rejected renomination of the Move Forward Party leader, Pita Limjaroenrat.
Okay, I mean, the establishment and everybody in the world knows where this is going, which is where the establishment wants it to, which is a series of extended delays. Delay until you get your way. So let's just see if a date is actually specified. I doubt it very much. I think it's in the establishment's best interest to push it all along until people get tired of it, like it's been doing now for 8 years. Thank you.
In Myanmar, a clash occurred between the Tang National Liberation Army and joint forces consisting of the military and the military-backed militia in Muse Township, northern Shan State yesterday. Due to the clashes, 2 militia members were killed and 3 others were injured.
All right, well, that's just a tiny little snapshot of 1,000 other incidents in Myanmar yesterday, of course. Look, on the 16th of August, we're going to be doing some presentations on Asia. Specifically, Myanmar will be featured. So just when you're interacting with clients, let them know 16th of August, either at the British Bangkok Club or alternatively online, okay?
Okay. In South Asia, in Bangladesh, opposition parties have announced demonstrations against the Awami League-led government this week.
All right. Do we have more details on these demonstrations?
Yes, sure, Bhargav. The Jamaat-e-Islamist Party has announced nationwide protests, including marches in divisional cities on July 28, protest marches in Sadar sub-district on July 30, and a peace rally in Dhaka on August 1. Also, the Islami Andolon Bangladesh Party will hold a rally in Dhaka tomorrow, demanding the government's resignation. The rally will start at 2:30 p.m. local time at the north gate of Beit al-Mukarram Mosque.
In the South Asian region, expecting any political rally to be peaceful is a bit of a joke. And we can expect more of these rallies against the government, grandstanding against the government, though they do not really have a leadership to speak of before the elections next year. And I need to specifically underline the involvement of Jamaat-e-Islami here. There is a geopolitical angle as well as the Indian subcontinent being dominated by the government in Delhi is controversially known to support the Awami League party, which is considered secular. And the Islamist parties have opposed the BJP, that is Bharatiya Janata Party, which is in power in Delhi across the board. So we need to watch out for these geopolitical angles along with the demonstrations on the ground.
Sure, Bhargav. In Pakistan, a police officer was killed and several others were injured following a suicide bomb attack at Ali Masjid Mosque in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa yesterday.
Yes, these are the unfortunate results of the governments, both military and civilian governments, playing mischievous games with the Islamists and giving them space to fester within the territory of Pakistan. An unfortunate trend also is that we see similar mischievous elements in India where the Hindu nationalist or Hindu right-wing parties gaining momentum in the last 10 years. So it's a very good case study of how the religious right need to be kept in check and not be allowed to fester beyond a certain point.
Moving over to the EMEA region, concerning the latest suspension of the Black Sea grain deal, the United Kingdom warned that Russia may begin targeting civilian ships in the Black Sea. This comes after Russia launched several strikes against grain infrastructure across Odessa city.
That's interesting, at the same time quite contradictory, because the Russians were ready to negotiate and the West sabotaged their own deal, which was supposed to renew sometime this month. And now they're complaining about civilian ships probably being targeted by the Russians. That's quite contradictory in itself.
Well, and also, Bhargav and Bassel, it's not only what's said on the open by the UK, it is contradictory, as you've said. It's also plain dumb because, of course, nothing that has been coming out of London, America, or out of the EU or out of NATO has been honest to date from the beginning of the war, leading up to the war from 2014. And so who's going to trust their civilian ships? Russia said if you're in the area of the port supply, you're going to be assumed to be a military ship. And that's fair enough, given the skullduggery that the West is going on with and thinking they're going to get away with it. It's kind of absurd. I think it's way beyond contradictory, mate. It's just unheralded skullduggery gone wrong. And they're starting to believe their own gutter. Meanwhile, Russia's strengthening them up. And the only one that's been doing what they're going to say from the outset is Russia. And it's not them that's been breaking the agreements. It's actually the other way around, and right down to the original potential for an early peace deal, and that was harpooned by America sending the British PM at the time. So it's just absurd. And I think what is particularly scary is a lot of people in Europe, America, NATO are just blind to their own propaganda and think propaganda is the domain of only the Chinese and Russians, and we all know it exists there. But the lack of ability to think critically, to read the tea leaves, to read the facts, and look beyond people's own beliefs, it's actually scary. And you can see how Italians followed Mussolini and the Germans Hitler, and of course the whole Japanese thing is no secret. But it is incredibly scary to see that the moral high ground's not just being lost, it's being decimated, and it's ultimately potentially going to shock the world when they actually get beyond believing what they hear on their own controlled media. Okay, thanks very much. Great brief, Bassel. I appreciate it. Bhargav, you and I have another meeting in 5. I look forward to hearing and seeing you again. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.